And now, actually, now would be a good time to reinforce this point anyway. That don't forget where we are. We're in topic 4, and none of it needs to be done necessarily, or very little of it anyway, with actual programming, but it's all about programming. And I've got lots of notes on every one of these things in written form and pseudocode and whatnot, but ultimately, and diagrams, ultimately it is about programming. And so I do think that for learning it makes sense to be in the programming environment. But don't rely entirely on the videos that are NetBeans. That's just to reinforce the topic 4 assessment statement. The other reason, of course, to do it is that you, since you're doing object-oriented programming, will need to know how to program, and this is accomplishing that as well. So where are we then? We are define the terms variable, constant, operator, object. So what's a variable? A variable is a named memory location. I'm sure there's a good diagram of this back in the notes, but a variable. When I go int I is assigned 34, that's the variable. That's the value being held by the variable. I can change it. I can go I plus plus, and so as a comment I could say now I is 35, and I could go I is assigned I times 2, so now I is 70. So variables vary. They vary in their value. This started at 34, it went up to 35. At this line, line 17, after line 17, I is 70. But what is a variable? A variable is a named memory location. Frankly, nowhere on the hard drive or the RAM memory is there, scratched in there by a pencil the letter I. What there is a memory location. Again, refer to the diagram, and that memory location has in binary 34. Just for what it's worth, what it would have in binary, the zeros and ones. That's one group of 32, one group of 2, which gives you 34. And might as well keep this up for a little bit. In binary, we're now at 0, 1, 0, 1, 0, 0, 0, 1, 1. Okay, and I'll leave it at that. So, point being that at the memory location that we've named I resides those switches, offs and ons. A variable is a named memory location. A constant, well, a constant is a value stored in memory which does not change. So if we went final int j, just to pick another variable name, is assigned 22, well, j is a named memory location, and it stores 22 in binary form, but it cannot vary. If we go after this, j++, we're going to get an error. And the error is going to be that we cannot change, we cannot assign a value to the final variable j. Well, that's not the best hint, but you can't change it. It's a constant. And frankly, we quite often will capitalize. All caps are constants. So let's say, rather than just j, let's call this something. What in the world is constant at 22? I don't know. How about this? Num planet X. Assuming that there's a planet out there called Planet X, and it has 22 planets. We just can't go. It now has 23 because it doesn't. We might have discovered another one, but maybe that wasn't the best. Constants don't change. Okay, constants. We use the word final in Java. Constants are variables which contain values which cannot change. Operator. Okay, operator is just, it's one of those things, it's an operator. Int j is assigned 2 plus, there's your operator, 3. Now j is 5. That's an operator. And those are operands, by the way, on either side of an operator. What else to say about operators? We have conditional operators, so how about this? If I equals j, yeah, there, that's what I probably had meant to do. It's a conditional operator. This is an arithmetic operator. And I think that's probably good enough for operators. But operators perform operations, right? So it's kind of like they are their own functions. They do perform a function, but they do so by being either between two operands or in front or in back of one. There are unary, what we call unary operands, such as this I++. So that is an operator. It is a unary operator, i.e. it operates on one operand. And if we go up here, well, we'll do another one. Plus is a binary to there. Good, so I think that's enough for operators. And finally object. Well, that's a little bit tougher to describe in 1 minute, but I'll do so. If we had, like we do someplace over here, yeah, cow, if you can recall that, we have this cow class. So we're going to go cow, C, assign new cow, and I forget what it needed, but it's something like a string. I'll remember. A Boolean, an int, and I believe it took, I think that's what it was. But we're not in the same package. Alright, I'm going to copy this, just give me a second. Alright, so there's the cow, if you can remember the cow in it. And it did take a string and a boolean and an int and a float. So now we should be a float, incompatible types possible. Double to float. Well, let's just leave it like that. What is an object? This is an object. Alright? And objects have functionality. Didn't give this much functionality. I'm going to give it some functionality right now. I'm going to go public. Cow method. Just being a little bit silly here. What does it do? Sout. Hi. No. Moo. And it's a void function. So over here, we've made ourselves an object. Now if we go c dot the cow method, we are using some of the functionality of this object. So the only thing that we're going to see when we run this program is moo. There it is. No, I won't do it. This is an object. This is an object. It is an instance of a class. And there's a lot more to it than that. But on the other end, there's not a lot more to it than that. So for now, for defining it, variable is a named memory location. A constant is a named memory location which contains a value which cannot change. An operator is something that performs an operation on one or two operands. And an object is an instance of a class and can therefore do things that that class can do.